Elaine Sawalter's Sexual Anarchy, Gender and Culture at the Fin de Siècle explores the cultural and social upheavals surrounding gender and sexuality during the turn of the 19th to the 20th century. The book examines the ways in which gender and sexual identities were destabilized in this period, drawing connections between the anxieties of the fin de siècle and the broader tensions of modernity. Showalter's analysis is rooted in a diverse range of cultural texts, including literature, art, science, and social theory, illustrating how these domains reflected and shaped shifting attitudes towards sexuality and gender roles. One of the central themes of the book is the notion of sexual anarchy, a term Showalter uses to describe the breakdown of traditional boundaries and norms regarding gender and sexuality. During this period, the fin de siècle, she argues, was marked by a profound sense of unease about the stability of established identities, particularly in the context of rapid social and technological change. This era witnessed the emergence of new feminist movements, increased visibility of homosexual identities, and challenges to the conventions of marriage and reproduction. These developments were often perceived as threats to the social order, leading to widespread anxiety about the erosion of traditional values. Showalter delves into the ways in which literature and art of the fin de siècle grappled with these anxieties. She analyzes works by writers such as Oscar Wilde, Bram Stoker, and Thomas Hardy, highlighting how their texts reflect and interrogate the cultural fears surrounding gender and sexuality. For instance, whilst the picture of Dorian Gray is interpreted as a meditation on the dangers of hedonism and the transgression of moral boundaries, while Stoker's Dracula is read as a reflection of Victorian anxieties about sexual deviance and the corruption of purity. In these texts, Showalter identifies a recurring tension between the desire for liberation and the fear of chaos, encapsulating the ambivalent attitudes of the period. Another significant focus of the book is the role of science and medicine in shaping contemporary understandings of gender and sexuality. Showalter examines how the burgeoning fields of psychology, sexology, and evolutionary biology contributed to the discourse of sexual anarchy. Figures such as Sigmund Freud and Havelock Ellis are explored for their influence on the period's conceptualization of sexuality, particularly their attempts to categorize and pathologize non-normative sexual behaviors. Showalter argues that these scientific discourses often reinforced existing gender hierarchies and stereotypes, even as they opened up new ways of thinking about human sexuality. The book also addresses the intersection of gender and class during the fin de siècle, noting how anxieties about sexual anarchy were often linked to broader concerns about social upheaval and the breakdown of traditional hierarchies. The rise of the new woman, a figure embodying independence and defiance of conventional gender roles, is examined as both an emblem of progress and a source of fear. Showalter discusses how the new woman was portrayed in literature and popular culture, often as a threat to the stability of marriage, family, and national identity. This figure became a focal point for debates about the changing roles of women in society, reflecting the era's broader struggles with modernization and social reform. Showalter's analysis extends beyond the realm of gender to consider how issues of race and empire intersected with the cultural anxieties of the fin de siècle. She explores how colonial discourses and fears of racial degeneration were intertwined with concerns about sexual deviance and gender transgression. The period's fascination with the exotic and the other is examined in relation to its anxieties about cultural and racial purity, revealing the complex ways in which issues of identity and power were negotiated in the cultural imagination. Throughout the book, Showalter emphasizes the importance of understanding the fin de siècle as a precursor to the modernist movements of the early 20th century. She argues that the period's preoccupation with sexual anarchy and the destabilization of identities paved the way for the more radical challenges to traditional norms that would emerge in the decades to follow. By situating the cultural anxieties of the fin de siècle within a broader historical context, Showalter provides a nuanced account of the period's significance in shaping contemporary understandings of gender and sexuality. In addition to her textual analyses, Showalter's work is notable for its interdisciplinary approach, drawing on insights from literature, history, sociology, and feminist theory. Her exploration of the fin de siècle is informed by a wide array of cultural artifacts, from novels and plays to scientific treatises and visual art. This breadth of material allows her to present a comprehensive and multifaceted view of the period, highlighting the interconnection of its cultural, social, and intellectual currents. One of the strengths of Showalter's analysis is her ability to identify the continuities and contradictions in the cultural discourses of the fin de siècle. She demonstrates how the era's fears of sexual anarchy were both a reaction against and a product of the period's rapid social and technological changes. This dual perspective enables her to capture the complexity of the fin de siècle, showing how its cultural texts both reflected and shaped the anxieties of their time. Sexual anarchy is also significant for its engagement with feminist theory and its exploration of the ways in which gender and sexuality are constructed and contested in cultural texts. Showalter's analysis is informed by a commitment to uncovering the power dynamics underlying representations of gender and sexuality, making the book a valuable contribution to feminist literary criticism. Her work challenges readers to reconsider the assumptions and biases that inform our understanding of the fin de siècle, highlighting the ways in which cultural anxieties about gender and sexuality continue to resonate in contemporary society.